to another episode of the Doing It 365 podcast. And I am back. Yes, it's been a while. I've been busy living life, sorting out things, and just enjoying the band launches. Band launch season has begun for Nottingham Carnival 2022. Yes, Nottingham Carnival 2022 is happening. It's official. It's all on Instagram. It's been the rant and rave for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to be talking all about that. And my guest this evening is a woman who is very, very instrumental in the programming, the planning, and the epicenter of all things Nottingham Carnival. She is a cultural ambassador. She's a steel panist. She's a carnival lover. Locker, wow. So you locked down all the carnival them. And she's a fetter as well. So she definitely encompasses the culture wholeheartedly. And she works. It's her 9 to 5. She works doing this thing, planning, preparing, and just keeping the culture alive right there in the heart of West London. My guest this evening is the amazing Anthea Hudson from Carnival Village. Anthea, wagwan, how are you?
That was an opening. I'm a designer too. I'm joking.
Yes. No, give them everything. Give them everything.
Evening.
Right. I love that. See this, folks, straight away. Click the link in the description. Head over to her Instagram. Check out the band she designs for. What the band name?
Ebony Mars.
All right. Start the things. Tell us, Anthea. Thanks so. First of all, thank you for your time. Cause right now I know you're in one little corner at work. Quickly, like I said, people, she's still doing the job. She works, as you can see by the title, Carnival Village. She's doing the job. She's doing the work. Tell us about Anthea and how she got involved in Carnival.
Well, I was born into Carnival. I wouldn't say that. It didn't find me on my route. Like, I was born into it. My aunties and my uncles, they've all played pan. My sisters played pan. My nieces play pan. My cousins play pan. My nan, she made masks for Ebony back in the 70s. Everyone, just my whole family is very heavily influenced into it. My great uncle was a captain of Ebony Steel Band also. So it's just always been embedded. I've always played masks as a child, and just the culture's always been around me. It's just always something. I wouldn't say it's something that I do. It's just always just something that, like the air that I breathe, I suppose. It comes very naturally. It's not a thing. It's just a...
Right. I love that.
I used to look forward to. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Nah, that's a good look. And it's very rare you find somebody that is so embedded into the mechanism of this carnival. You mentioned great uncle, you mentioned grandma, you mentioned nieces and nephews, you mentioned cousins. So that's home. That's like 4 generations. That's a legacy. So basically, Ebony is a family band.
Yeah.
Family orientated, and that's something that is so integral to our carnival. And I love that, you're able to really speak on that. So what are some of your earliest memories of Nottingham Carnival?
My earliest memories, I want to take it to like 97, maybe 96, 97. My nan did Fancy Sailors for Ebony Steel Band because we didn't have sound systems back then. We literally just came out with the truck. And we did Fancy Sailors, and my nan lived in White City at the time, but she's back in Trinidad now. And the whole family did Fancy Sailors, and all like my cousins, everyone did Fancy Sailors, and we was getting ready at home or in White City. And we literally would just walk from White City over to Ladbroke Grove to start the route. And that's like my earliest memory. I used to love doing that. But I feel like I looked forward to it because it was like a family thing. It wasn't like the thing that you do like your birthday. I feel like this is bigger than your birthday. This is like, we're going to show out. It's mass, but it's also like the big family day out, and we're all in costume and everyone's just like gassed, and we're already practicing our moves and things like that. You
I
know,
love that.
all the my mom's cooked the food and everyone's just ready to go. That's like my earliest favorite memory.
In
Oh,
the
Carnival.
90s, early Fancy Sailors. Talk to us about Fancy Sailors. For those that are not watching, by the way, folks, this episode, quickly before we go ahead, is sponsored by Soccer Weekender. Don't forget, Soccer Weekender is taking place in Portugal this year, 2022. Click the link in the description below. Get your FET passes. The early bird FET passes will sell out soon. Once again, we got the sponsors, Soccer Weekender. Ebony Mass, Morning, Fancy Sailors. Talk to us about that theme, because I feel like a lot of people that are probably watching this haven't done Fancy Sailors in a while and probably don't even know why Fancy Sailors is a theme, is a costume in Carnival. So talk to us about that a bit more.
I mean, in regards to Carnival, before, you know, the knickers and bras and the feathers and stuff, we played characters. Ebony, we did many characters. I was very young in those days, but fancy Indians, fancy sailors. There's different characters like Dame Lorraine. These are all Trinidad Carnival characters, and every year we would do the characters, but it'd always be different. And my nan was very heavily involved in that. Fancy sailors isn't like, I suppose now. Do you know now someone makes a theme and that's the theme and it doesn't come back again, they make up a new theme? No, Fancy Sailors, you can come back again in blue, you can come back again in yellow. Like, it is a carnival character, it's like a staple, so it never sort of just disappeared. It is a carnival character.
And
It's
is
just
there
like
like
all
a
the others, you know.
significance to the Fancy Sailor? Because for it to be such a staple, like a foundational character, what is the message behind it, if any?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's all right. That's cool. That's cool. It's
I've just
good to
always
know that.
grown up knowing those are the traditional carnival
Mhm.
characters. I suppose you've given me homework to do now myself.
Yeah, because even me, obviously, I'm Jamaican and I don't know exactly why the Fancy Sailors are there, but I know that it's a long time staple character. And obviously, we see the different islands might put their own little twist or spin on it as well. So
Mhm.
it's just interesting. I thought maybe there's like a particular social or social political message behind it. Why? Because we know that the carnivals always have the characters that represent and speak to what's happening in the political climate at the time.
Yeah, no, I definitely believe there's an answer to
Mhm.
that question.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Honest, not, I'd say that I'm
we
not
both
sure.
we both have homework to do because I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to research that as well. Carnival though, you see, mentioned in the 90s. How has it changed for you, or when did you notice the major shift? Because you mentioned before it was costumes, sailors, fancy Indians, and then knickers, bras, and feathers. So, what year would you say was that major first change? You're like, rah, we've gone from these very elaborate carnival characters to now very, beautiful, pretty peacock, peahen
I feel
displays.
I can't tell you a year, but I suppose when I noticed it, because it leaked, it was leaking in slowly. You know, the bras were coming in, and it wasn't so bra knickers. It was kind of like a bra, but the bottoms was quite, covered. I want to say I'm 31, so 96, I was doing sailors, and that's what I was noticing at 6 years old. So I want to say I noticed it about just a few years later. It just started coming through. It had I don't want to say decency to it, but it still was polite. And then I
Hmm.
suppose over time, it's sort of grown its own head. I wouldn't say it's not polite, but it's definitely more out there. And yeah,
Anthea trying to be as
you
as
know,
wholesome as possible. Don't
it's
worry, the
more out
viewers them
there,
now gonna bite you. It's the truth, man. Speaking of that though, you're talking about White City and 90s and coming over to Ladbroke Grove. You grew up in West London, the home of Carnival. What was it like as well at that time? Because we know that there was a lot of the movements, the civil rights. How was that? Was that a casual walk over from White City to Ladbroke Grove, or was it a walk with family and you're reminiscing about past times and you're thinking about, what does this day mean? Why is it so? momentous or such a monument to us, or such a big moment for us?
I mean, I'd say the movement and stuff, that is definitely before my time. so I didn't, I wasn't, during the movement or anything like that. But I just feel like it definitely was different. Carnival was very, like I said, it just felt like the culture was like family orientated. So it was really like my family and everyone. And I just felt like everyone involved at the time was family.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they say, a band from back in the day is come and it's ended, but it's broken up into so many of the bands that is known today. It's
Yes.
all linked from it. I feel like it's like that. I just felt like everyone was family to this day. Like there's people that I thought, oh, that's my uncle. It's not my uncle. It was never my uncle. But I just feel like it was very heavily based. It was very like the community was thick and heavy with the love. That's what I would say in regards to
Heavy
like
with
the
the
culture.
love. I love that.
You know what I
Heavy
mean? It
with the
was like,
love.
it wasn't, oh, well, I can't even explain because I suppose you need to understand, but it was everybody picks up something to be helpful to go towards that is Notting Hill Carnival. If that's, I suppose now, like the mask camp, someone's gemming, someone's cutting. I feel like it was bigger than someone's sewing, someone's cooking the day that everyone's in the camp working, someone's doing music, like just things like that. I just feel like it was just it was definitely like a brilliant era that just led
Love
on
that.
to
The history is key. Folks, please remember to share this video right now. Hit that notification bell, hit the like button. We're talking about all things Notting Hill Carnival. It's carnival season, it's mass band launch season right here in London, Notting Hill Carnival 2022. We're with the big boss herself, Miss Anthea Hudson from Carnival Village. Let's touch on that as well. How did you, or when did you start to work in Carnival?
you know
Because your job is not a little easy job.
I actually got involved with Carnival Village, I would say really like 4 years ago, actually working with Carnival Village. But I've always been in Carnival away from work. Assistant director of Ebony Stillband Trust. And then before I even was anything there, I was always in Ebony and I was helping out and things like that. So I've always been there doing something. Let's say I had a very long voluntary sort of part. And then I suppose in 26, Ebony always had marks back in the day. And then it took a long hiatus. And then it returned in 16. And then I got involved 2017 in regards to like the mask side of things. With my cousin, and then we were just working on masks and just trying to build Ebony Masks back up, just kind of like how we knew it, and just working together. And then just from that, 2018 was actually my first year of making masks. So I've always been involved. And then, 4 years ago, I actually joined CBT as an events administrator at the Art Centre, which is where I am now. Just doing bookings and stuff like that. That's really how it all started. I was just kind of taking bookings in Yar, and Ebony was based here, and I was helping with Ebony, of course, as previous. And then I suppose, when do you ever, normally you have your job and then you have your hobby, but whenever can you actually take your hobby and work on it? So, I mean, I suppose me just being in the door was fun and exciting and big enough. But I'd say I'm quite an ambitious person. So although that was my role at the time, do you know what? CBT is quite a community itself. So although I came as an events administrator, I was helping with other things. I was giving my opinions here and there, tweaking certain things like as the years went on. And then from events administrator, I had more responsibilities, and then I became the events and engagement lead, which now I don't know how to explain it. It's the title's there because of the amount of things that I do, I suppose. So I'll break it down. The event side is all of the events that we do at the Yard Centre and the events that we're trying to work on and things like that. I'll be there working on those and bringing it into fruition from like seed to flower.
Nice.
And then the engagement, I want to say it's because I'm talking to you. I'm talking. If it's the community, if it's mass bands, sorry. I also head on the mass bands for Notting Hill Carnival. So, this is why the title is the what it is. Okay, so I head on the mass bands for Notting Hill Carnival, making sure that they're all good, helping to give them the opportunities and, keeping carnival arts alive. If it's like working with the Arts Council, just kind of help them with their applications. Workshops that we're doing at Yard, that's normally free for them. We're currently working on like sewing and we've got like a welding room just so that now everyone can still learn the skills for their own mass bands to keep it to that level to help them improve. So there's that side of it, the carnival arts side. I'm based at the Yard Centre, and I do a lot of work with kids and bringing them here and giving them, opportunities to learn pan and carnival art workshops and things like that. And then I lead on the mass bands for Notting Hill Carnival, as I explained earlier. Just making sure their life is as smooth as possible. Getting them registered and just sort of liaising with them with everything that we do. So all things mass, when it comes to NHC, I'm your girl for it.
Love that. I'm speaking of all things mass, big up your event. You guys did an amazing event last year called Mass Must Play.
Yeah.
Where you had a nice showcase for the adult sections and the young and the kids sections as well, displaying for the current mass bands that are on the road. So that was a beautiful, and I had the pleasure of hosting that as well for the first time. So that was really, really nice. So good. So folks, if you are not following Carnival Village on Instagram, make sure you follow them now, and of course make sure you follow Anthea on Instagram. Her Instagram link is in the description box below. Go and follow her right now. Take a moment, go and follow her right now. This is the Doing It 365 podcast. We're talking all things Notting Hill Carnival 2022. It's band large season. We're ready. And of course, this episode is sponsored by Soca Weekender. We're going to Portugal this year. Get your Fed passes now. Click the link in the description as well for that. They are going to sell out. Portugal is going to be a movie. We're going to have a wicked time. If you were there the last time in 2017, you know the vibe. Right. Speaking of mass and pan, let's talk about Ebony Steel Band, because that name holds weight. That name is, I would call it a culturally significant entity. Like you can't mention steel bands in Europe and not mention Ebony Steel Band.
Right.
And I want, huh?
I said, yeah, right.
It's true. And I want to first touch on and speak to, why do you think so many people don't appreciate or recognize that Panorama is the start of Notting Hill Carnival, so to speak? Because whenever you go on social media and people are like, oh, I wish Carnival was 3 days. And we're like, well, it is 3 days because you have Panorama on the Saturday, then Kids Carnival, and then Monday for the big people mass. So what's your take on that?
Do you know what? I think it's a bit of half and half. If I'm honest, we're somewhat to blame, because the fact that somebody doesn't know could also mean that we're not doing enough to push it out there to make sure that everybody knows why this is and why that's the start and that it's happening, from like company standpoint. But then I also feel like, Carnival isn't the UK sort of thing. So it's something that's here, and it's not just, although there's 2.5 million. So everyone has
is that figure true? How the head count that? Yeah, because I've always heard that it's millions of people. And when I'm at Carnival,
apparently,
I don't think it's millions.
Don't quote me, but apparently there is a way to calculate how many people are like on a road. There's like, okay, don't quote me, but do you know what? It's true. There are people that can calculate how many people from a width of a road and the distance, and there's many people that do that, which calculate, just like with festivals and everything else.
No, but the festival is an open space, so we can easier do that. Like, I don't know. Is it really, and is that 2.5 billion across the entire weekend, or is that on just
Weekend,
one day? Okay.
weekend.
Because that's a lot of people.
It is, but when you think of the route, I'm sure there's easy calculations on, again, the capacity of
So
who can
you're
fit
saying
on
at any
a
given
road.
time, there's at least, so like at the most peakest point, from the top of Ladbroke Grove, so Holland Park side, right down to Kensal Rise by the roundabout, when you
And
turn,
through around, yeah.
yeah, that stretch, so that
That,
Ladbroke Grove
the
stretch.
side roads, the sound systems, all
No,
the
we're not talking about this whole
involved.
land, but before we even get to the side roads, that look at that stretch from the top
Mm-hmm,
of Ladbroke Grove by Holland Park all the way down past the Sainsbury's, right up until Kensal Rise by the major roundabout where you turn right as if you're going towards Eccleston Road.
mm-hmm.
Community geography, cheese. Yeah, that is probably what, 500,000.
It could be. I don't know
Could
the
be.
breakdowns, but what I'm saying is that route, the
Yeah.
off roads, the sound systems, everybody
Yes.
in our nest. That's the number.
Is That's a big number.
Huge
But
number.
panorama. I have I'm gonna say unfortunately
Mm.
never been able to attend a panorama because I've always either got something to do or um I just never able to get a ticket. Like, because I'm sure I think it's
It used to
300, but you
be
still need to get
free.
like a kind of ticket
It
to
used to
go.
be
I think.
free.
Yeah. So either it's sell out or you know what, it's too late to go now. Like by the time I'm ready to go, it's like, well, by the time I
Mm.
get there, it's gonna done. So I've missed the importance of. But how do you prepare for something like panorama? Cause me
You as
can't
a
play a
player,
steep band to save
or
my
you?
life. But
It starts just like how.
I like seeing and I like hearing it being played.
Yeah, it's just like, I suppose, any other instrument practice. Ebony, they start practicing. I want to say as early as June,
Mm,
through all the way through up till uh, performance day, which is the Carnival Saturday. And as the time gets nearer, it's every day, every day, every day. Practice makes perfect. It's a big deal. It is a very big deal, especially. And if you can't make panorama on the Saturday, on the Thursday and Friday, um, how would I explain it to you? Condon Street, right by where Panorama is. We're set up
mm-hmm.
outside and we're playing and we're practicing. You can also find other bands like Metro, Mangrove, and All Saints. So it's a big deal. It's a big competition. Like, there's
Yes.
100 people in a 100 people piece band. So there's a lot of time put into it. Like, it's a big deal. And this year, hopefully we've got more people taking part in it.
Because from my view, I see it on social media, like when it's happening and you're seeing the rivalry and you're seeing the last year's winners posting up what they played and why they won, and you see the votes come out. People are saying, "Rah, no man, them that band they cheated, man, nah man," and then especially when I believe some of the steel bands are even connected to bands in Trinidad, so it's like it's an extension of like it's an
Yeah,
international
sorry, I
rivalry
can't
now.
forget. You got people flying in from France. You got people flying in from Trinidad. People fly in to take part in this. Rivalry is real. Competition is
It's
real.
real.
It's
It's
real.
real,
And
real,
everyone
real.
deserves it. So yeah.
Ah man, that this is getting me excited. This is what I talk about. People like it's these kind of things that make Carnival so rich and so beautiful. It's not just about coming on the road and getting drunk and winding up on your friend and some sexy people. No, there's a
That's
lot
a
to it.
moment.
There's a lot to it. That's just a small moment in the whole, major grand scheme of things. How was the last 2 years for you, or how were the last 2 years for you doing Carnival virtually? How did you navigate that? Like,
That
because I
was
know for many of us it was heart wrenching, but for you that works in it, how did you deal with the business side and then your own personal emotion side of like, wow, we're really not on the road?
personally, it was painful. Like, I can't explain the feeling. I'm sure those that go know. It was like, ugh. it was like a death in the family. That's really how it felt. Like it was
Mm.
definitely like, really, like this is really happening. This like it's just gonna be nothing. Nothing. We're just doing nothing. We're indoors. Like it was crazy. It's something that you would never think of. You'd never think, oh, yeah, it's cancelled. Like you might have to miss a year due to something, but you'd never think like, wow, I never saw this coming. I suppose no one saw this coming, but like personally, I was just like, wow. To the point of even at one point, I didn't even want to do anything virtual because I was just so like, it's just not the same, is it? It's just not the same. But when you like, especially when you work for CV as well, like, and you're in it, well, we need to give them something. We need to give you something. We need to get creative. Like, it's our job to do so. And I know a lot of the other countries and their carnivals was doing Zooms and online, I don't know, Zoom stuff. I just felt like for us, especially like with Matthew, like he's really something. So like he's very creative, and I feel like he's very cultural involved in this anyway. Like, so I just feel like he really wanted to make it happen, but just not on the basis of what we've kind of been seeing before us. So we really had to just sort of think and
Nice.
just see how we
Okay, well,
are we gonna do it.
quickly who is Matthew? For those that are watching and don't know who Matthew is, just quickly tell us who Matthew is.
Matthew Phillip is CEO of Notting Hill Carnival or Carnival Village Trust, Notting Hill
Right.
Carnival, TW11 Tabernacle, VR Centre,
So that's the
and
big
he runs
boss,
Mangrove. So
and he runs Mangrove. So
yeah,
it's not a random person. It's a
no,
very
again, someone from the
very
culture, somebody that knows absolutely. So we're in good hands. That's why you're in good hands. You're in good
we're,
hands. Not
you hear that,
really much
people? We're in good man. We're in good hands for sure. So rest assured, Nottingham Carnival 2022 and beyond is going to be spectacular. What
Absolutely.
can you give us any other like inkling into what kind of prep goes into Nottingham Carnival 2022? We know that the steel bands you just mentioned practice. We know that costume production happens, but what else happens from like a behind the scenes perspective? What are some of the other things that happen? You mentioned earlier, like checking in with the mass bands and making sure that they're good, but what else happens as well to make sure that we have a smooth Nottingham Carnival?
Loads. Like the making uh the bands that are making their masks is so far down the line. There's many different worlds in the one world that is carnival, but it's so far down the line. There are many, 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 many. Like after carnival, it starts again. I believe it. I want to say really, you get like a few days grace, and then we're back again planning. There's many meetings that are very much not fun that Matthew would have to go to. These are above me, and that's like with London Ambulance and Met Police and Fire Brigade and Westminster and RBKC. There's loads of meetings that take place way before you guys are even thinking of what 2022 Soca's out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where the planning's going through. That's when they're discussing what happened last year and what needs to change and how they can tweak X, Y, and Z. That's what's taking place before anything. The risk assessments of the actual route, what needs to change, all of those things, working with
Right.
Yellow Glass, which is like a company that deals with the risk assessments. All of those things are taking place while you enjoy your days because you're waiting for the next carnival. Many of those things, it starts as soon as it stops. You've got things like that. And then you've got the sound systems, the mass bands, the still bands, the Brazilian bands. You've got all of them, and they're their own entity. In Carnival Village, we have people that deal with each sort of that deals with each one. As I said, I'm mass bands. Do you know what I mean? Kiana, who's also PA for Matthew, takes care of Brazilian bands. We've got Cass that takes care of the sound systems. There's loads, small group, small tight group, but it's a lot of work. But everyone is doing what they can to work with the groups, and the groups themselves have their risk assessments and their insurance and everything else. They need to register. For example, there's like 70 plus mask bands. All of them have to register. They have to put all their details on, how much passes they want. All of those things need to be, looked over and overviewed. We need to approve passes. There's just a million things. I'm missing out a ton of things, but there's just a very long and an expensive process which goes into this. So sometimes it's hard, and it's technically not people's job to know, but sometimes it's hard to see out of, I don't know, your band, but just know that there's many things that have been put in place for you to be here today.
Rightly so.
Sorry,
Rightly so.
security,
And I want to yeah, it's true. And I was just about to mention that as well, because that's one of the things that I've noticed on social media. People ask about quite frequently how to improve the route. Can't we get, like in Miami Carnival, for those who have been, those high gates where the whole route is gated and the look and the what's the word for them now? The viewers, the spectators can sit and just watch, but they can't come and touch. So then they can't take the pictures. Unfortunately, they can't. The stormers, there'll be no more stormers. Can't we get that based on, and this is what people say as well, based on how much revenue is generated from Notting Hill Carnival? Is there no way that we can get some kind of government funding to reduce and help with the health and safety to get these high, nice fences so we protect our masqueraders who are part and who are the most integral part? Because if the masqueraders don't come out and they don't feel safe to come out, then we won't have any mass. You're gonna have people just sitting on their front yard, just playing music and swaying like it's a normal. They'll be liming. It'll be no mass. It'll be a lime. It will be come we play a lime, not come we play a mass.
I mean, I love the masqueraders. They're almost like, the mask bands are almost in my care. I have to do and live for them. However, sometimes we're not in America. You see how wide them roads are. You see how it works. You've seen the route. Certain things that people think and people say in reality and logical, where, how. The thing is with people want us to remove barriers and things like that. Okay, Great Western, judging point.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to remove barriers.
No, we need more barriers.
Put back barriers. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Previously, there were spectators walking down, and there's been images. Remember, it's not just us. We work with the police and everyone else that's involved in this. There's images of babies and parents being squashed under the barriers. Like, those barriers, although they think they're just protecting you, and they can cause real life-threatening issues. Remember, we said 2.5 million is in Carnival. We do not need anything like that affecting somebody, like, or, God forbid, like actually fatally hurting somebody just because you want to go down in peace in your costume. Like, and I don't even mean to say it like that, but there's just bigger things behind why things are there and why it's safety first. I know you might lose a feather. Like I said, I lead on mask bands. I know, but we put things there for the safety of everyone, not just for one area of it. I mean, this year we're hoping to build a stage to build a stage by judging point. So you'll cross the stage, your truck will pass, and the spectators will pass. We're trying to work on ways to work with the mask bands, and because we do want them to be able to pass in peace and display. You know what I mean? The colors, the feathers, the costumes, the themes, everything. But we have to do it safely, and we can't just be one-sided either. Like we have to think.
So can't we have more police then? Since we can't have the barriers, can't we have more police that would act as a barricade and do better crowd control? Because I feel like, especially at Westbourne Park, we don't have enough police to help control that properly.
But remember, Carnival isn't heavily policed. It's actually the stewards and the community stewards that actually are keeping us together. Like I said, we're working on that road. Like, at the top by Westbourne Park Station. Maybe we can work on like a filtering process.
Lane, yeah.
Still
Something
working
like
on it. But I think, again, to say and I don't even mean to jump on you, but to say have loads of police in Judging Point, again, it's quite selfish. The route, everyone, they need to be spread out accordingly. Like, we can't just have loads of police because stormers, that's not even police worthy type things. We need them elsewhere. So I just think we're working on it. And every time we do think of it and we break it down, it is for the greater good of everyone. And I just think that
Definitely.
we just
I
need to
respect
trust
that.
the process. Trust the process.
We're going to trust the process. We're definitely going to trust the process. Folks, this is the Doing It 365 podcast. I'm here with the lovely Anthea Hudson. We're talking all things Nottingham Carnival 2022. We're getting ready. And I feel so privileged to have you here because also we've just finished having International Women's Month in March. We're in April right now, but I'm still loving this conversation because you're like I said earlier, you're a woman in a very important senior role, a very integral role, and we need to highlight, we need to give thanks for you because you are from the culture, you are of the culture, you are currently still in the culture as well. You come out, you're playing mass, you're designing. Let's talk about your designing as well now for a moment because you mentioned it earlier. I love that because your normal job, what you just mentioned now, is very, very time consuming. So where do you find time to still design for Ebony Mass Band? And who are some of your inspirations when you're doing your designs?
I don't know where I find the time. I promise you, I have no idea. I just grab it when I can. I'm definitely like a night owl. Everything happens at night. As you can see, it's 9:39 and I'm still here, and I probably won't leave. I probably won't stop working at 10:30, but then I might go upstairs because our camp is based here and then finish off. So it's a lot of after hour works that we're doing here. I don't have people that I look to in regards to designing. It's normally just, sounds silly, yeah, but it's normally just like a feeling that you get throughout the day, throughout the year, which kind of gives you the vibe on where you want to go. And then you kind of got to, or how I do it, you kind of got to turn your feeling into colors and start drawing out stuff and seeing how it works. Because I'm dark skinned, I actually like to make masks that looks nice on my
Compliments,
skin.
yes.
That is something
Yes.
that it's not for everyone, but it's definitely something that the colors that
It's
I mess with,
important.
it always amplifies us, and
Love
everything that
that.
looks like
Love
us
that.
looks good on everyone else, but you know,
Looks
but that's
extra
something
good
that
on us.
looks
Yes. Yes.
extra good on us.
Yeah.
That I mean, this year for Ebony Mask, we're working with Amorous. And Amorous Mask, and they're coming on with us because, as you said, from my job and how it's gone now, I don't have all the hours in the day, so
So you gotta
we're
spread the load.
collaborating,
Yeah, man. Big up
and
Amorous. I think I've seen them before I've seen some of their work before. That's a nice collaboration. I love that. I feel like for 2022, everyone's up their game. I feel like everyone's trying to make the statement like both personally for their band and then globally to say, yo, Nottingham Carnival has amazing costumes, has
absolutely.
impeccable designers, has brilliant themes, brilliant
Absolutely.
production.
I feel like
So
I've seen a lot of the launches at the moment, and I feel like everyone is stepping up their game. And I think it's a great thing because, just like you said, you step up your game. It makes it makes your band louder, but then it also bigs up NHC and it puts us
mhm,
slightly up because the quality is up. The quality needs to go up and keep moving at all times.
exactly.
So I'm definitely
Because
here for
we
everyone's
we
growth.
are competing on a global level. We are competing, so to speak, with the likes of the Brazils and the Trinidad Carnivals and the Miamis and the New Yorks and the Barbados and the St. Lucias and so on.
Yeah, but we have
So
quite a variety of mass bands. I know that some, there's like the standard ones that everybody knows, but we actually have, like I said, 70 plus mass bands that come out to Carnival
and
and
that's mass bands. So that's
mass
not included
bands.
the Brazilians.
No, not mass bands.
So just strictly just a mass band. So that list that's on Instagram is
Yeah.
70 plus. That
No,
is
the
that
list
even the
on
whole list?
Instagram are our official ones for 2022, but there's even
Yeah,
more than that that's not coming out this year.
yeah.
So
Sorry, those mass bands if you didn't make it, but flags we on the road, baby. We're dead there. I've got to big up my band, of course. Flags Mass Band, we on the road
No,
right
of
now. Of course,
course.
go check them out as well on the Instagram, flagsmassband.com. Obviously we have the amazing costumes. Our theme is Libertas. I hope I'm saying it right. And obviously we've got some amazing partnerships going on with you, with Yuma. So we got the whole Yuma Vibe team. Check out our costumes, our sections. It's on the
Great
website right now.
collaboration. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like I said, we have to up the levels. We
Yeah,
have to
I
up the
hear it.
levels, and it's
I hear
only
it.
right. And we have to take it because we want to showcase the high quality that Nothing No Carnival can provide. So that's an amazing look. Speaking of costumes, speaking of sections, speaking of representing high quality,
Why do I
yeah.
feel like
How do you? What's wrong? It's,
what's
it's, it's
you?
it's a
What's
simple
you if I'm
question.
laughing on that or like
Yeah. How do you feel? And you mentioned, and I'm glad you touched on it because you mentioned dark skin and costumes and colors. How do you feel about the current state of the models that we have? Because there's two things I want to speak on. First, I want to speak on the issue of body image and body representation in mass in the UK and then globally. Like, do you feel like it's getting better, it's good, or it still needs improvement? Like, do you feel as if you are well represented on that stage when you see a band launch in person or virtually? Do you feel that you, Anthea, and women like you, that look like you, are shaped like you, that feel like you, that model like you, that walk and encompass mass like you, are represented on that band launch stage?
Do you know what? I am like I'm plus size, like I'm a big girl sort of thing. So I just feel like now lately, I would say the last couple of years, it's definitely gotten better. Before we would watch and we would see a launch and the options aren't there. We have to wait until the website comes and then might have to send an email and ask or send a bra because it's not out. But I feel like now lately there's a lot of plus size girls launching, modeling. Like I feel like a lot of bands are like becoming a bit more like inclusive to everyone. Not to say that they wasn't before, but it wasn't shown like that. Now, no, it is everybody play a mask. It really is like that when it comes to NXT. And I'm really happy to see that. Like I feel like everyone is representing and they're doing more and stepping out of, their comfort zones to sort of be more inclusive to everyone.
I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. Have you ever modeled before? And would you model your own costume? So with the ones that you're designing, would you go on the stage and model them?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
I wouldn't. You know what? Do you know what? I play mass in Trinidad easy, like easy, easy. It's not even a thought. I have to. Here, my actual first time playing, not playing mass, that's a lie. My first time playing Brian Knickers type costume was actually only 2019. So I only found confidence
Where?
to do that.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's what I mean. But a few years before I wouldn't because you can't see it. But I suppose now, I mean, for me, I have to make sure that I feel comfortable in what I'm bringing out and what I'm designing. But even if I just move Ebony Mask to the side, like I would feel nowadays I would feel comfortable to play mask like in NHC. But before I wouldn't. And would I model? I mean, if somebody
How to
dropped
model
out,
you?
but again, it's too busy. Too busy. It's too busy. But yeah, I wouldn't
Okay,
strike
I
it off.
respect it.
You might see me.
Yeah, but you gotta come out in your own thing and just grace the stage. You're nice and you're
You are. One day, you never know. 24th, we're launching.
me. I see me muggle. Until me get the six pack, me now muggle. I will wear it. I'll go to the band launch. I will watch online. I'll be like, yeah, all right. Yeah, that one, yeah, all right. Flags, you lot got something for me there. I like that color. I can see myself. And hope more time. It's another. If the male model is roughly my height and my size, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you're obviously more. You go gym, but we have the same shoulders and we're dark skinned too. So all right, that color looks good on you. I can wear that.
Even
I can wear
that,
that.
the fact that you can go and look and be like, you know what? You said you wouldn't do it, but you could go and look and be like, yeah, that's me. Like that is a big thing because it never used to be like that. So
Mm-hmm.
leaps and bounds we've come
Me,
with
no, sir.
that.
Me not, I couldn't, like, even if you give me £300, 3-course meal, rum punch, jerk pork, apple crumble and custard, and you put me in a Uber to and from, Uber XL to and from. Me now go up on the stage and model because you see when social media hold me and say, influential is what, say that, and the belly not slim. No, sir. 'Cause remember, as the male model,
Sometimes
you got
pay up the belly.
you got to wind up. I can't come on the people them stage and I got on a white vest and then the chest
So,
piece and then the head piece. Nah,
or
man,
if
the
it
girl them
works for
want to
you,
see. The
there's
girl
no
them want to see.
can't, you know. There's no
The girl
can't
them
in
want to see
that.
arms. The girl them want to see six pack. They want to see well shaven chest. Chest and shave for a little while now. You get me? But it's real. People comment and tell me if I lie. Me I tell you. You want to see a chubby hairy chest man on the stage, or you want to see a nice sculpted man on the stage? Yes, we know inclusivity matters and all bodies matter at carnival and everything. But for the man them, I don't think that's the case. For the ladies, everybody likes it. All the woman them.
Mm.
Man and woman. But for the man, them, I've never heard any woman say, "Oh yeah, I like how that chubby guy looked in the costume." Like, yeah, well, guys, nah,
You don't know. Anyway, let me wait for the comments. You don't know.
I ain't seen it. But comment below, let me know, people. But I ain't seen it. You don't have to get me drunk to do that. If you get me drunk and blind for me, I'd come out, I'd do a little quick wine, and then walk off. I didn't want to see the cameras. I don't want to see the flashes. But on the flip side of that, though,
Mm.
there's the ladies that are very, very slender, very, very petite, who also feel like they don't have costumes for them, or they feel not because for them, but they also have that kind of body dysphoria stigma in their own minds. Because, and I saw this on a somebody tweeted this recently a few weeks ago, that when the conversation of real women not being used as models,
Mm.
what is a real woman? Because for that lady, she was like, well, I'm very slim and I'm short. So does my body shape not consider as a real woman? Do I need to get thicker to be considered? Because most of the models that you see, they're somewhere in the middle. They have nice shape, they develop well. And it's like, well, either side of this, so it's like, do we have a spectrum? And then do we need to
I
be more
mean,
careful how we are,
of
speaking
course
on?
we do. Let's not beat around the bush. This is all down to mass bands and the band leaders. You know, it's how they're trying to portray their costumes. It's how they're trying to sell their costumes. But yes, of course, we need to start giving variety. Some people that you put to model is unrealistic sometimes. So even the people that play for your band,
That's
and you know
true.
this, but some bands use it to sell the dream, and it sells the dream, and it doesn't. But I won't say it's a bad thing. There could be somebody, very small, that could see something and think right, it looks sick on that woman, and go and purchase it because it looks sick on them too. So it just depends on, honestly, it's just down to the band leaders, their aims, and what they're trying to do. It is that, because that's the only way anything's going to change. We need
Definitely.
variety. Yes, we do need variety. Yes, we say this all the time, but when it comes to it and when we're selling it, we do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? All the time. So, but I definitely do feel
100%.
like, in regards to shapes, in regards to light and dark, we're definitely going in the right direction. I wouldn't shun it and just be like, no, everyone's just doing the same old, same old. Slowly,
Slowly
but
but surely we're getting there. Definitely. I love that. I would agree with you. We are definitely on the right path. And who knows? Flags, if I know I'm a mother one of the costume them next year. I don't know if it'll link me up, just person me. Just me easy for sway. Right, the right amount of rum punch,
and you're
magnum,
good.
a, and a nice plate of food. I'm good. Get me. But I think I'd only model for flags. I don't. I wouldn't be modeling. I
Well,
wouldn't be
if
one
it's
of
not
those.
in you, if it's
I,
not
I
in you,
wouldn't.
then by all
I wouldn't
means,
be. I wouldn't be modeling. I wouldn't be a proper carnival costume model like how I see certain people are, and I respect them. I big them up. I love them. Big up all of the models. Big up all the. There's even model agencies now for the carnival
yeah,
banner
yeah.
season. But me, I'd only model for the home
We
base,
just
and
need to stay. We just stay
I'd
in
do
our
it and
lane.
done.
We need to
Yeah, I'd
stay
stay
in
in my
our lane.
lane. Stay in my
Like
lane and do it and done. Speaking
models,
of
well,
staying
brand
in
new.
lanes,
Well.
speaking of staying in lanes, we got to talk about this. I'm so sorry. how do we, and speaking about models and costumes, how do we
Mm.
feel, or how do you feel about the vetting, the judging of, and representation? Like, do we have to take more time and consideration when we're getting a model in a costume? Because obviously we know, or if you don't know, the recent news on the social media, there was a recent band launch. We're not going to say the band's name, and the model was modeling in a way that is not appropriate or common within the culture,
Yeah.
and it beckons the question to ask: are we letting too many people into the culture? Are we not doing the necessary checks? Is the model not fully aware of the culture, and did she get lost in the sauce? Like, did she just go into the moment and next minute she because it happens. Remember,
It
this is
does.
something that
Do you
this
know
is
what?
something that, remember, mass is a spiritual experience for many of us, and even on the stage you're meant to embody the theme, and maybe she got, I don't know, maybe backstage she's drinking a bit too much rum punch, and then lo and behold she doing what she doing now.
I
So
just
what
feel
are your
like,
views?
okay, sorry. That whole situation is a situation. I'll be honest. A lot of people are there's loads of sides to it. Everyone is slating the young woman that did that. We don't know the backstory. Was she told to do that? If, if, if she was told to do that, if she was hired to do that, it's not even her problem and it's not even her fault. I feel like the the band leaders, I can't even say the designers, but sometimes they have no say in
Yeah, the
who's even
designers don't have
modeling
no
it
say.
out.
I
But the
therefore wouldn't blame the
bands,
designer. She's just done what she needs to do. She's
yeah,
created a
but the
design.
bands and the band leaders, it's you, like absolutely you. You have to make the decision. It's your choice. If you've done that, that is you. You have to work on how you want it to be. I mean, for all I know, they could have said, we want to go viral. We're going to do a madness. Boom. And then that's what's happened. I'm saying, for all I know. And that could have happened. And then it's worked. Well done. You know, everybody knows the band's name now. However, I just feel like when it comes to, keeping people out, honestly, I'm not here for gatekeeping on this whole culture thing. Like, me personally, I hate that whole conversation. What am I gatekeeping for? So you want me to have this really good, great thing and just keep it just for me, and then what? Because it don't become worldwide with my percentage, my minority. It doesn't. Like, I think people should be able to come and experience and see and like get involved with the culture. However, people should know how to act, and that's again down to
Mhm.
us. We need to take the blame. Like, if somebody comes into your house with your shoes, with their shoes on, walking on your mum's good carpet, you need to tell her to take
Mhm.
them shoes off. No, it's us gatekeeping. If I'm gonna let you in, let me show you. So a lot of people have been talking about it, and different races and stuff like that. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think if I am the band leader and this is my band, and I don't want it to be portrayed on that, it needs to make sure we need to have some sort of meeting. I don't know, some run through, some
Rehearsal,
talk,
a meeting.
something,
Mhm.
and then that. But then again, it could be, where did they get her from? If she is skilled in playing Jenga, she's gonna come on stage and
And play
play
Jenga.
Jenga. We can't even be
These
mad at
times,
that.
we're playing dominoes.
These times we're
We're
playing
playing
Jenga.
Jenga. Right.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that's exactly what's happened. I feel like, she put the bill. I feel like maybe they didn't even think it through, or maybe they didn't even see that coming. But
Mhm.
Jenga's gonna play Jenga because that's all Jenga knows. So
Knows.
who are we
And
really
then
mad
on
at?
the flip
No.
side of it as well, we have models that are from the culture that still don't do the costume justice. They don't have the walk. They don't have the prowess. 'Cause just like how earlier you saw me doing this, I'm so used to seeing the ladies do this now at the band launches. I just do it naturally now. This is what
This is it. It is.
if
It's
I was
true.
modeling a costume, I'd be like, yeah. So how would a man come out? And be like, I'm like, because I'm thinking that's not how I am at Carnival. I'm not walking around like that at Carnival. I'm walking like this. Yo, hey partner, what's going on? I'm not.
Honestly. It's true,
You
but
think I'm
honestly,
doing
like
that?
everyone's gonna
No.
feel like I'm posing blame. But do you know what? Blame don't fly in the air. You know, someone's got to hold it, and I will give it to the band. I will give it to the band and its band leader. You made the decisions, and even if you didn't, any repercussions, you know, we have to hold it. Like there's many things that I've done with Ebony and it's gone wrong. I have to hold it. Like it's
Yes.
just happened and you just
It's
gotta
just a
hold it
part
sort of
and
thing.
parcel
So
of the thing, man.
I wouldn't
People,
even
this
say
is the doing
anything.
it.
I just say
Yeah,
do better.
that's
I
it.
don't know.
And the thing is, we have to have these conversations so that way people will know to do better. Because if we don't have them, we won't know. And it's not. That's what I say. This I say we're not attacking, we're not slandering, we're just
It's not the
having
end of
an
the
open,
world. I
honest
like the
conversation. And
costume.
yeah,
Do you know what I
and
mean?
it's a
It's just
beautiful
a
costume.
shame
It's very
that
beautiful.
the noise is louder than the look. Like it is a shame.
And
But
that's the unfortunate thing. You
yeah,
understand? So we have to be mindful. And I think for me, it's definitely one of those things of where like I would think, well, because when I saw the post, I was like, I just did a shake my head. That's all I said. All I typed was SMH because I was like, yeah, you
yeah.
you
I
definitely
mean,
need
was
to
I
understand that.
cringed? Absolutely. Like I
I
just
was
felt
I was
so
cringed, but then I was just like, what are you doing? Like, who are you?
yeah.
My first thing was
But
like,
it
what
was
are you
like
doing and who are you?
no, I think I was like, how did this happen? That's
Yeah,
that. Not who are you? It's what? Because maybe that was the technically if they did that and everyone started doing that, maybe that was the
but that
direction, but
can't be the theme. You know that
it
can't be
wasn't
the theme.
clearly. So that's why it's
That
kind of
can't
like,
be
do
the
you know
theme.
what? You can only be in control of so much.
Much.
When somebody walks out on the stage, they also do their own thing. But do you need
Yes,
to trust
true.
that person to make sure they're vetted so that they're ready for this?
Yes.
Yes. So again, comes
And
back
do
to
we
me.
have rehearsals? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, again, if obviously you might not be able to do a rehearsal at the venue that you're going to
Mm.
use,
Maybe they rehearsed and
or
she didn't do that.
maybe she wasn't there for the rehearsal. But yeah,
There's
again,
so
you
many.
got to ensure
But
that you
again,
got
it doesn't matter, unfortunately. We don't know the backstory. So,
exactly. So
and
that's it.
leader.
But we're definitely keeping it clear, honest, and consistent. And obviously,
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing all the bands on the road. I feel like again, I'm
It's
looking forward to
exciting.
seeing that band on the road. I want to see all of these
That's
costumes
a
out
big
because for
band. It's a good
me,
band. Like that, I don't even think that's even ruined them in any other
yeah,
way.
no, it
Like
hasn't. It's
they're
it's
not,
it's just
they're good.
it's just another thing of oh my god, and then we're gonna move on. But moving on from that topic, I'm really excited to see all the bands. Like I said, everybody's upping the level. So I want to see everybody's. I can't wait to see everybody on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
I mean, I
that's what
can't see
I'm
no one.
most.
I can only see front and back.
That's what I'm most looking forward to. Because and also this year, I can't lie. Most years I do the whole, let me go check my bridge in here. Let me go check my bridge in there. Nah, this year I stay in the right with flags the whole day, the whole time.
Absolutely.
Because I want to take in the energy and vibe of
Need
my
to bask
band
in
through
the
and through.
ambience that is
Yes,
not
and
your
because
carnival.
our costumes are so beautiful, I'm just like, wow, yes. And obviously, if the band in front and the band behind us are boom, then I might try and take a look a peek here and there. But no, I want to be in the midst of my thing through and through because I feel like sometimes you can get lost in the hype of band hopping, and it's like, nah, I don't want to band hop this year. I just want to. And I
Well, I
also,
don't move, but yeah.
I might even consider not even drinking any alcohol this year again because I did that 2018 or 2019. I didn't drink any alcohol.
I
Not
had
nothing
it.
on Sunday, nothing on Sunday, nothing on Monday, and I just had a sober mind, and I was like, wow, this is a different
You've got to
feeling and a
take it
different
in what it
energy.
is.
And you're like, okay, cool, like, wow, interesting, yeah. So it's definitely an amazing thing. So like, you know. This has been a fantastic conversation. People, this is the Doing It 365 podcast. I'm here with Anthea Hudson from Carnival Village. She's the events and engagement lead there. So she does all things to do with the events lead up to the Tabernacle, the Art Center. Please make sure you get down to the Tabernacle. Soca Fridays is happening each and every Friday. The 6 weeks running up to Notting Hill Carnival. There's a lot going on. So if you want to know more, hit the link in the description below. Follow Anthea and hit her up. Follow Carnival Village to see what's going on. Of course, this episode is sponsored by Soca Weekender. We're going Portugal, October 2022. We're outside. It's going to be a vibe. Get your FET passes now. The early bird FET passes soon finish. Go over to socaweekender.com. The link is in the description box below. It's gonna be a vibe. Before we end off, what is one thing you want the people to do in preparation for Nottingham Carnival 2022?
Stretch. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yes, stretch. I agree. I like that. Definitely stretch. Definitely stretch.
No.
No, listen. If you catch cramp, that's your business. We're leaving you on the side. I will call London ambulance for you, or St. John ambulance for you, because you better stretch. You better prep. You've been 2 years, and nobody better come with no stiff wine. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
prep. That would be it. Prep. Whatever it is that you're going to do. Sound systems, mass bands, spectate, taking part, prep. Be ready. We've been out 2 years, no carnival. Like, know what time it is. Absolutely. You want to go and do glow bar? You want to go and MUA? You want to go and get a whole new different color wig? Come proper. This is your sweet 16, sweet 18 all over again.
Mm-hmm. And Mandem, remember, I have to end on this as well. Mandem, be respectful. We don't want no reports on a woman being harassed, molested, attacked, cussed out. Respectful. And Mandem, check your friend them that are Mandem as well. We need to fix that now. We need to start fixing up that now as Mandem to Mandem. Yeah? Manage your drinks as well, gentlemen. Take your time. I personally want it to rain. So it's just cool. And then,
do you know what?
Yeah, but I want the sun so we can really enjoy the costume there.
No, we want the sun. It could be easier than 2019 because that sun was telling us something.
Sizzling. Woo.
That sun was telling us something. But any sleet, snow, rain, sun,
outside. Here for it, definitely. Anthea, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. It's been a fantastic conversation. We can't wait for 2022. You give us a little sneak peek of what's to come and the preps, but you can't get everything. So we're looking forward to Panorama, Kiddies Carnival Sunday, Monday on the road, the adults. It's going to be a vibe. We'll see you outside. Again, this is Doing It 365 podcast. If you've enjoyed this podcast, comment below. What mass band are you going to be with on the road? What mass band? Let us know. Comment right now who you're jumping with on the road for Nottingham Carnival 2022. Let us know. And of course, share this video with another carnival lover, with a soca lover, with a sound system lover, with a steel band lover, with a carnival designer, anybody that loves and appreciates the culture or is thinking to come. Share with them right now. And of course, hit the notification bell, click like, and subscribe. It's going to be a vibe. Anthea, where can they follow you? What's your Instagram? What's your socials?
You can follow me at Anthea V Hudson on Instagram. But please follow Notting Hill Carnival, NH Carnival London, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Carnival Village or Carnival BT on Twitter, the Yar Center, Tabernacle. Follow it all because you're going to want to know what we're doing in the lead up, because we're doing many things into the lead up of Carnival this year and you don't want to miss out.
It's going to be a vibe. People, I'm Sir Influential. Follow me on Instagram, Sir Influential, like my name says there. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.